Hi, it's Esther at the Truck and Scribe. I am doing a 4-part series on how to make a softcover journal. So this is the journal that I'm going to be just showing you how to do. I have a scarf is a tie closure. It comes completely off. I have a dangle on it. This is my cover. I've used fabric right here. I'll walk you through how to make the fabric cover, how to make the signatures, and how to decorate this journal. And then I'm going to have a final part 4 of a walkthrough. So I hope you enjoy it, and this video will be is the introduction for all 4 parts. Thank you for stopping by, and if you are a subscriber, thank you, and if you're not, I would really be excited if you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and come back and visit. I have my Amazon envelope that was planning on using to make the book, but this one seems a little bit small with my signature, so I am getting a bigger one, and I'm checking it, kind of seeing how much room I have. I'm taking my signature and putting it in the bag, checking my size, see I've got at least 1/4 of an inch and probably more on the side, so this envelope is actually a good size for this particular journal. I am going to cut off that edge right there to just even it up some. And I'm just checking again to make sure that I have the correct size envelope. So I did put glue inside. I wasn't sure if I needed it or not. This is my first envelope style journal. So I'm taking the seam apart on 2 sides. If you look right there, I'm showing you the inside seam on that. The blue of the package of the envelope is actually showing through, so I am taking a piece of scrapbook paper and just kind of covering up the prime on it so that it doesn't show through the white of the fabric on top. The back is blue, so I feel like it's going to be okay. I'm trimming off the edges, and I decide that I'm going to go ahead and glue it down. Just pull that scrapbook paper around the edge and putting glue on it. I struggle with trying to get the envelope in the seams over there in the corner right there, because I wanted it to go on top of the seam. Here I'm taking some glue and I'm putting it back in that corner and wrestling with it quite a bit more. And I decided to go ahead and show you guys all of this. It is kind of sped up to 2 times the speed, but I'm showing you the little edges right there where I'm manipulating the edge of the cover, trying to get it all in that corner and get it nice and neat. It's stretching it and rubbing it and trying to get the wrinkles out. And like I said, I had a rough time with this, but it was definitely worth the fight that I did to get the cover in there where it needed to be, get the envelope in there. So I just keep smoothing, applying some more fabric tack because I'm not sure exactly how this is going to work on the sewing machine. I don't think in the end that I needed near as much glue as I used. I might have. I am rolling the edges with my fingers, trying to get that envelope as tight in those two corners that are already sewn as I can get. And I'm pointing to the edges, and then I'm looking to see about a pocket. I've got some extra room with this cover. I went and got some cardstock, and I'm measuring, not using a ruler, but I'm measuring from the corners or the edges and making marks with my pen. I start to cut it with my paper trimmer, my little one, but I realized that it wasn't big enough, so I used scissors. Then I cut it again because the first one was crooked. I'm just double checking my cardstock and putting it in there, and I'm pushing it up against the crease of the fabric so that it's nice and tight, and getting the glue. I'm manipulating the edge again. I know you can't see very well, but now I'm checking the other edge, the long side, to see what I'm going to do with it, and pulling out the threads that came loose when I undone the seams. Now I'm trimming away some of the blue to cut down on the bulk. Put more glue so that it lays flat. Once again, I don't think in the end that I needed that much glue, but we'll see the next time. And now I'm gluing down that extra on the top. I think I put that at the top. Yes, I do. Because it just gives added decoration to that side, and it turned out really good. So I'm adding more glue to the pocket area, and I'm tugging and trying to get that fabric in there really good. You can see I'm evening up the edges right there where the glue is, so that when I go to sew it, it won't move. And I am going to put this in front of my fan to let it dry. I'm taking my signature and checking again to see how it's fitting. It's actually fitting really well. Now I'm back and my cover has dried, so I'm getting ready to sew it. And I'm just kind of looking at how I'm going to fold the pocket over. And I start by sewing that side where the pocket's going to be, the edge, because I'm going to fold it over to sew all the way around here in a few minutes. So I have I'm using about 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. My foot on my sewing machine is actually a walking foot. I do not know where my regular foot is, but this one works really well, so I use it. You need to make sure your stitch length is probably at least 4 to a 5 stitch length so that it can go through these multiple layers. And if you're sewing through paper, definitely turn your stitch length up, because it's like perforating the paper, and the shorter your stitch length, the more chance you take of that just pulling apart. So I am doing a little bit of a back stitch, clipping the strings. I don't like strings hanging too much. And now I'm just turning that pocket over and looking at it, trying to decide what I'm going to do. So the top has about an inch, inch and a half fold over that I'm sewing down. I left it as a decoration because it looked good. And I had to do that before I fold that pocket in and get ready to start the quilting and all. So now I'm fixing to start on the back where I can kind of do my back stitching and all. It won't be as obvious. So when I get to the corner, I'm making sure that my needle is down, and then I'm picking up the foot and turning it and just stitching along. I do have it sped up a little bit faster so you don't have to watch quite so much. And I realized that I should have had my pocket folded down, so I had to stop and cut my threads and fold the pocket and then get started again. But as you'll see further on, I should have done the quilting before I sewed the pocket. But, you know, you learn from all that. So right there, I think, is when I realized that, oh, wait a minute, I've still got quilting to do, and now my pocket's going to be in the way, so I can't quilt over the pocket. But it worked out great anyway. I mean, you learn things, and as you craft and keep going. I'm coming up to the end now, and I'm going to do a back stitch and then clip those threads. So I'm supposed to be showing you the pocket, but my frame was not working. This was a couple of months ago that I took this video. Well, a month or so ago. I hadn't done as much. So now I'm just quilting it. I've got my stitch length long, and I'm stopping at each edge and clipping the threads, and I'm really just going from where I sewed that first line around back over to the other side. I'm not measuring, I'm just kind of looking at it and saying, okay, that's about the same as the last one, and I'm just trying to let go. Believe me, this is a hard thing for me to quilt without having definite straight lines and all, but it's a journey to let go of some of that perfectness that you learn when when I started learning to quilt. It was make sure everything was just the seams came together and all, but like I said, I have tried to let that go, especially in junk journaling, because junk journaling is not perfect. But so I made all my lines, sewed all my lines one way. Now I'm turning around and I'm going just the other side of the pocket and sewing. I'm back stitching where I started each time, and then I'm just going to sew across to the edge right there where I have that last line of stitching, and I turn around. No, I don't turn around. So I keep going. I go back up to the other end to where the pocket's at, and just keep sewing those lines. And this is such a small thing that it doesn't take a long time to do. And you can do all kinds of different quilting techniques, and you can do it by hand. You don't even have to quilt it. This is the end of part 1. There will be a part 2. I do not think I'm going to go over 2 parts. So thank you for visiting, and I hope you come back soon and see the rest of it.